want to learn more about Akashic Records, we're going to be talking about karmic rollover lessons and vows that we speak over self and different incarnations today. So I have been having a lot of clients recently that have been asking questions of, can you read my energy field and see if there's anything that has happened in my different lifetimes that could be affecting me in this one, basically blocking me up or creating more challenges, or has there been any karma that has accumulated that I need to take care of in this one? And all of those things can be true. Okay? There are many different layers as to why we have certain experiences that can be tied to these other soul fragments of self. However, a common theme that I have been seeing is I have to make up for what my other incarnations have done. Now, on a bigger cosmic scale, yes, these are different versions of your soul, okay, your core soul group. However, those don't have anything to do with your incarnation in this one. Like, yes, they do. We can learn lessons from them of how can we become more self-aware and more conscientious, how can we integrate what we learned in those to help us make forward movement and help the collective and help us grow as a soul. But just because another timeline did something does not mean that you technically have to make up for it, okay? That karma sentiment sometimes is a little bit skewed, and I will say that the best thing that you could do in this incarnation is continuing to work on self. And if you have these things come up, that's totally okay. We're looking at them for comparison, for contrast, and what can we do differently here in this time and space. But it doesn't mean anything about you personally with this human avatar here. Okay, so when we get on that hamster wheel of, I gotta make up for this, I gotta make up for that, that's never ending. Okay, what we want to do is say, I have the tools and resources to make different choices. I am going to lead from a place of love and compassion and empathy. I am going to put my wants and needs and desires first to fill up my own magical cup so that I can overflow that to others. And what I don't need to be doing is blaming myself and sitting in shameful and regretful type of energies, because that's not helping you in this incarnation. It's not helping them either, okay? And sometimes I come across beautiful souls who are very open channels, even if you're consciously aware of it or unconsciously aware. And you have so much information influxing into your field from these different timelines. And if you have mastered a lot of things in this one, oftentimes these different incarnations will be coming forward because they want your support. They want you to teach them. Sometimes you feel like the student, but you're actually the teacher. And we love that. What a beautiful blessing. At the same time, however, just because you can help with something doesn't mean that you want to or that you should. Sometimes we are wanting to help others with things that are so far beyond the frequency that we are currently in that is actually pulling us back into lower frequencies, into these identities that we have already shifted out of. So if it comes to a point where we feel that having these connections to these different incarnations is dragging our energy back a little bit, it's okay to ask your higher self, your higher awareness, can you find somebody else in my Akasha field for them to go ask? Okay, because if you're the one that's sitting over here and you're super open and you're like, yeah, come on, and everybody's entering your field, we have to hold energetic boundaries, not only with spirits, but with people, but also our incarnations. And that does not make you a bad person. There is a lot of things that we are traversing on the 3D human plane in our own collective right now that is causing us to be very tired. There's a lot of activations happening. There's a lot of toppling down. There's a lot of holding the light in the psychic grid and supporting each other and Mother Gaia. So if we need to redirect a lot of that energy back into ourselves so that we can feel very steadfast and at a good homeostasis point, it's okay to say, hey, I do not have the energy for that right now. Yes, I would love to learn how to do soul fragment healing. and to do timeline healing and to learn how to do very deep Akashic work and do those karmic clear outs, those vows, soul contract things. Yes. However, maybe I'm the one that needs help in this incarnation. Maybe I need teachers and mentors and guides from my different incarnations. And you can ask that at any time. There are so many different facets of ourselves that are so good at so many things, that have mastered many different talents and abilities, that you can call upon them and channel their energy to help you find that good homeostasis point in this incarnation. So we have to check within ourselves of, do I have this type of kind of savior complex that is running either with humans or your other incarnations of, I have to give all my time and energy away, and that is kind of why we're feeling off balance a little bit. It is also okay to ask for help and have your cup filled so that you do eventually have the energy and the tools and the resources to do that. Because a couple of those sessions that I have been doing, I have been seeing where there are mentors and guides from people's different incarnations that are wanting to come forward to help them with certain things, to give tools and resources, but they're not tools and resources that they need in this incarnation. Sometimes it is, hey, let's learn how to be in battle mode or arsenal energy, or, you know, just a whole assortment of things that this human in this incarnation has not decided to get into. And that is okay too. It is also okay to hold boundaries and say, thank you so much, I appreciate that, but I don't need that this time. Okay, this is the list of things that I need. And sometimes we need to sit down and figure out what those things are. Because if we have not specific goals in mind necessarily, but if we have certain things that we are working towards, whether it's tools or resources or gifts or abilities, that gives our higher awareness and our spirit team in these different incarnations a much more directive viewpoint of how to help you and what they need to go search for in your Akasha field and bring forward so that you can receive those things, or at least get in contact with these different incarnations that have these things that you need. So this whole chat is really about, hey, holding boundaries, okay, and asking for what you need and what you desire, trusting in yourself that you do have these connections, whether you're consciously or unconsciously aware of it, even if you cannot hear your spirit team or your higher self or these different incarnations. Sometimes it's not coming through in a direct line. It's not even coming through in these different voices. Sometimes it is the insights and the downloads that you're receiving on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes it's those intuitive nudges. It's you getting on the internet and doing some research and then getting a ping of like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Maybe I should go down this rabbit hole and see where it leads me, right? There will come a point where you are able to hear them a lot more clearly, audibly, whether that's outside of you or in your spiritual ear, which most people hear that way, okay? But we need to be figuring out, what is it that I need in order to bring myself into balance, and be willing to ask, and also be receptive of receiving help and support. And if you want to learn about these topics more in depth, you can check out the Quantum Evolution Academy. This is where we're going to go on the ascension journey together, and we learn how to become a bridge between our human self and our multidimensional self, so you can activate your ancient magic. And you can also register to see previous session replays of Akashic record readings, so you can learn how to hold sacred space for self and for others. And you can find both of those links in my bio or the comments. And I would love to hear what thoughts, feelings, and emotions came up during our chat today.